Right. Okay. So where do you want to begin with this? You asked me to choose 3 of my favorite YouTubers. I've got a bit of context, with the sort of thing that I really dislike, like Packer Ben, the city everybody is leaving. That is what I really despise about YouTube. Our mate Stu of Spain Speaks, mate.
Well done.
He was saying that Portugal could be your best move, and he filmed this video, which I think is a kind of sledging. It's like faint praise. He's got the clickbait, why moving to Portugal in 2025 could be your best decision ever. And then he has a beer in Peniche outside a shed, like from the Fast Show, where the guy comes out and says, "This year I'd be mainly drinking beer in Portugal." And he's outside a shack. That is not selling Portugal, Stuart. And are you doing that on purpose, my friend? I wonder with that. And if you want it, Tony, I do have some do's for 2025 in YouTube and some don'ts. And I have my 3 favorites ready if you want me to enter into that.
Never apologize. Never apologize.
Why? Did I apologize?
I don't know. I just saw on your list of don'ts apology videos.
Oh, I see. Right. I thought you were accusing me of that.
Stu. My theory about Stu from Spain Speaks, because we were in Spain for a couple of months before we came to Portugal, and then we had to make a decision.
Yeah.
And he was kind of part of that. Actually, he was part of that because I secretly believe that I think he's got the old golden handcuffs in Madrid in that teaching job he's got, but he wishes he could live here.
I think you're right. I think you're right. Yeah, and he keeps a foot in the door here.
He does, doesn't he? He's got an apartment somewhere, I think, in Portugal, isn't he?
And he's making it. He's saying it's good, but he's making it look bad, so it doesn't ruin it.
Yeah.
Rumbled. You have been rumbled.
Because he wants it to be like, of course, I'd rather be in Spain. Really.
Yeah, but because otherwise his brand is ruined, isn't it?
It's ruined. It's ruined. Yeah.
And on that note, this guy is not one of my favorites. I've written.
You don't like him?
No. Do you know what I love about him and why I've included him here?
Go on.
It's because I love his production values. I think
that's what I like. That's what I was going to say. I like it. I like it. He's great, isn't he? He does. Yeah. You could learn a lot from him.
No question about that. Yeah. And I really don't like his clickbait. And, you and I obviously say to ourselves and other people, it's all content, right? Mm-hmm. And he even when he got mugged and punched in the face, he was straight onto YouTube, wasn't he, after that? I got mugged. And you're like, oh, my God, he got a massive kicking from a gang of hoodlums. And I think he just got a one right hand around. I mean, not that's a good thing. I'm not saying he should have been the victim of that. But he certainly played it up.
And he milked the comments as well. I know what he did in the comments. He did a thing, which was he spoke about he's not going to mention the ethnicities of the people, and the way he did that, he knew he was going to get the engagement. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's
and that's what I've got also a full disclosure preface for you is that I don't watch many. Well, I do watch quite a lot of YouTube, but I don't watch many Portugal YouTubers anymore. No. I find it quite dull, and this is actually probably quite a terrible admission. I publish a lot about Portugal myself, and I prefer to create video rather than watch it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
When I'm watching YouTube, I'm very selective about Portugal videos that I'll watch. So the ones who've made the cut here are friends who I want to support, and I can't pick you because that would be like entering the competition as an employee. But I like watching your videos because I know you and I like you and I want to see what you're saying and I want to talk to you about it. But my circle of trust in terms of consumption of YouTube videos about Portugal is very small, and they will be people.
By the way, congratulations on the new project today.
Oh, thanks.
Here we go. We're going to pat each other on the back. But I was really quite. I was kind of between lessons, so I could only watch it for about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But Louisa really has a skill of looking at the camera, doesn't she?
Yeah. She's learned from it
because it's too easy to look at the. Because right now I'm looking at you. That's how I feel. I'm looking at you. Obviously, we're not in the same room, but I'm looking at you on my screen, which means I'm looking not at the camera.
Yes, let's both look at the camera to make everybody feel
but it was actually a little bit disconcerting. I don't know how to explain it, but when Louisa was saying something about, and then you find yourself, and it's like
Tony,
the you inside is getting too big for your body, and I'm like, wow, you're freaking me out. You're talking to me. I don't like it.
Yes, the golden ticket of television right there. Yes. I'm aware now that I think I've only got two favorites. The other thing that I wanted to mention was the most watched video I've been in is not even one of mine, which is really gutting. I mean, my videos get watched by 200 people. And then I appear in one by some professionals. And this is also what I don't like about YouTube. Expats everywhere. I know these guys, I would call them friends. We've had lunch with them. They've come and seen us over here and they are friends. And we recorded a video 3 years ago, which has had 215,000 views, where I gave them a great line, which is used to, and I use it and people use it, be Portuguese about it. And they've got a lot of credit and I dare say a little bit of income from that. And I've got pretty much nothing out of that, which sours me. I get over it very quickly.
I think the problem is, would you not agree with this, Carl? Both of us know tomorrow how we could make money out of this.
Yes, and we choose not to for some
reason. We choose not to. I know exactly tomorrow I could drop everything and make, there's 2 or 3 types of videos, just focus on that. Yeah. And I could make, by probably 3 or 4 months, I'd have probably 30 to 50,000 subs and I'd be making a little income off it. But it's just, I just don't want to. I don't want to.
Well, and that's what I like about you and the others who I know resist that as well. I mean, shall I just tell you who I like? I think Dave in Portugal is included because of his production values. And Louise, who I think you've chosen.
Yeah, I picked as well. Yeah.
And I can never remember, and I know Louise very well. We worked together, and she's a friend of the family, and expat solo 50 plus, I think, or 50 plus expat solo. But you get the gist. It's Louise, and she is so authentic, and honest on camera, and she's researched it, and she's doing well. And I know she stopped short of doing the most contrived things just to get people or just to make money. And I think that's our circle in a way, isn't it? And there are other YouTubers looking at us thinking we're total mugs because we don't do what they're doing, making loads of money. But I just can't do it, Tony. I can't do it
either. I can't do it
either. And
I think I would burn out. I would burn out, Yeah. I mean, you only, like, I've done a lot of videos, so now I can really see which videos make money and which, and I could do those all day, but it's just, then it's like a job or something.
Exactly.
It's not a hobby anymore.
Yeah.
But what I like about Solo Over 50 is as a channel is, again, that authenticity. Also, there's quite a lot of variety, so I like it when she goes and visits her friends and has a look at what they're doing. I always find that really interesting.
Cindy, yeah, absolutely.
I also like her. Do you know what I mean? Like, for me, she's very, very likable.
Ethical.
She's got a very nice voice as well.
Yes.
And
modest. She's modest.
Yeah. But so what I mean is, I think there's some value in, for example, you talked about Dave in Portugal's production value. Because I think all of those things, it's all a package, isn't it? But what I also really like about her channel is that she's willing to share this this thing that she's found, this way that she's found to live in Portugal. And I believe that a lot of people wouldn't share that. I believe a lot of people would go, "Whoa, I found this."
Well, the opposite of the Spain speak scenario that we were talking about earlier.
I do you know what I mean, though? I believe that a lot of people would keep that very close to their chest and not really talk about it. And she's very, very open about what she does, and very she shares, and she has a lot of fun, and she speaks, and that modesty as well. She's willing to speak about her when it's not going so well, so I really like her content. I really like her. I've watched quite a few of her live streams as well. I'm like you. I think possibly for all of us who are regular YouTubers, I know that there's a lot of crossover, but I do believe that there is there are creators and consumers. I do believe that, and I think that creators, like, when I'm watching YouTube videos, I'm quite often watching them to learn. to be honest with you.
Yes, you're watching from a professional point of view.
Yeah, I'm watching, going, oh, how are they doing
that?
Who
are your three favorites then?
Well, so my three favorites were Solo 50. So she's changed it now to Solo 50 plus adventures, I think.
Oh, okay, because of the expat word.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
She expat before. Yeah, okay. There are difficulties with that, and that we all wrestle with. Yeah.
So Solo 50 plus adventures, which I think is
and they are adventures. That's a great name because it does what it says on the tin.
She is on an adventure, and that's the other thing is when you look at her kind of origin story, it does what she's done is courageous.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, you know, and inspiring.
Yes.
And I think that if you want to, you know, there's practical things you can learn from her, but you can also like check in with her every now and again and continue to be sort of inspired by her courage. And a lot of people really connect with her, because I remember I can't remember what it was about a year ago or something, but she had a real disaster and all her equipment broke down, and someone just got in there and bought her a new laptop or a new iPad or something to get her back.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she's really connecting with people. That really says something.
No, I love that. I love that, and that's to me is success, isn't it? When something like that happens, you know, you can have a Google pay you because you've worked their formula, which seems pretty soulless to me, because you know the medium is the message, isn't it? As is it Marshall McLuhan said, you know, every medium shapes the messages. And there's no question that when you're successful on YouTube, you've probably 80%, 90% had to just work. It wasn't luck and sheer fan base, was it? Unless you come with a massive following already. But if you're from the ground up as a YouTuber and you're successful, you've probably compromised a little bit in the way that you can say commercial artists, commercial musicians have done the same thing. And it is, you know, it's not a criticism. It is an observation of that process and what you want to be successed,ful.
Well, you saw, for example, I made that parody video maybe about 6 months ago about Croatia, and I used AI to create a script for me because I went to Croatia for a week. So when I got back, I just made I told the story of where I'd been in Croatia, and then at the end, I said I've never been to Croatia, just to make a point that how very, very easy it is for people to create travel vlogs, and you know, I'm not going to name names. People who know, but there's one particular very, very big Portuguese channel who are kind of like doing the off-grid farmy kind of thing, and they are complete frauds. And people who know, you know, he's like, oh yeah, and then I'm doing the pointing and I'm doing this, and everyone who knows that he has contractors in. You know, the guy has about £1 million worth of farming equipment on his land, you know, and they're pretending that they're like, you know, there's a lot of fake. That's all I'm saying. There's a lot of fake.
Fair enough. And it's the same everywhere in every area of life, isn't it?
Yeah.
I guess as you get older, your tolerance for it, you know, weakens. And each to their own. And it is what it is, to use that terrible cliche. Do you think YouTube is pushing more negative? Well, it had to happen. That's part of the curve. Absolutely right. Like the picture I showed of why people are leaving Lisbon. What utter bollocks, basically. But it's a clickbait title. And it will have worked in that regard to get some eyeballs on it. No question.
My first 1,000 views, my first 1,000 subs or whatever came from a video I made called 10 Things I Hate About Portugal.
Of course. There you go.
And I didn't actually mean it. I didn't put that up to trying to get more subs or views, but that's the one that pushed me over pushed me over the hill. And I only did that because for me it was like an antidote to because sometimes I think there's too much not so much on YouTube, but quite often in the kind of travel vlog space, there's too much, you know,
rainbows and
you know, parts, and you know me, I like to sort of tell the truth. Sometimes I know I go a bit too far on it with the
But that's your shtick. That's
but
your
yeah,
shtick.
it is.
Anyone who
your
knows
shtick,
you knows you're very. I mean, that's part of your authenticity and vulnerability, I would say.
I've traveled a lot. I've traveled a lot, Carl, and I've seen this I've seen the same thing in multiple. Our Rich Journey. I tried to like them.
Yeah, I was fascinated by them.
Yeah, they had the house in Nazareth. They had the house in Nazareth.
They did, yeah, and I think they're in Keldash for a bit, and now they live in the Far East, don't they? And
I wanted to like them.
I admire them, and I think they are like they are because they're so young and idealistic, and I really like that about them. I have to say, as much as I find it infuriating, which of course. We all find each other infuriating at times. I'm sure, you and I have our fair share of haters. Yeah. And people, it's fine. If you don't like it, don't watch it. That's the point, isn't it? I like rainbows, and so do I, Tom. And I think I've struggled with that. He only talks positively about Portugal, and I'm thinking, well, okay, that's a criticism. Is it true? And I think it is what I'm going to continue to do. That is my shtick. I do want to stay on the positive side for my own mental health and for people who like that. And that's not to say I only say positive things about Portugal because there are only positive things to say about Portugal. That is not true. But if I do say anything critical, I do it in a positive way and a solution-focused way, because otherwise I will become terribly depressed. As you see with those people who constantly knock things in Facebook groups or on YouTube videos, they can't keep it up, can they?
Yeah. There's a lot of good. There's a lot of decent channels that focus on learning Portuguese.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's quite a lot of them that I think are pretty good. But my favorite is Talk the Streets.
Yes. Yeah.
And why I like her, I don't know her name, but first of all, I could watch those videos with the volume down all day, my friend.
Oh, Tony,
I know, but it's kind of a bit like, do you remember Nigella Lawson, the cooking shows? And I'm like, how many people watched that who had no interest in cooking?
I don't remember any of the recipes. You're right.
Yeah,
all I can remember is her dipping fingers in things and licking them. That's what you remember, isn't it? And cleavage. Yeah. And again, medium is the message. Voluptuous Woman does cookery program. They knew exactly what they were doing.
Of course they did. Yeah. And so every man just imagine her in their kitchen cooking for them, basically.
Did you, Tony?
Yeah, I did. I did. Every man.
Are you imagining it now?
Yeah. Well, do you want to know what happened just then? I'll tell you the worst thing.
Go on.
I imagined her in the kitchen and Priti Patel in the bedroom.
Really? What?
Just for a second, I was like the man who had it all. Yeah.
Do they know about each other though, or are you living a double life in the bedroom and in the kitchen?
I've got no idea, but it always reminds me of that. I think I told you before about that Bryan Adams song that I misheard the lyrics to, which was what is it? Now my dreams are coming true.
Down boys.
And in the song, he says, "Now my dreams are coming true from the good times to the bad." Yes. But in my mind, it went from the kitchen to the bed.
Yeah. And you've rewritten that. The what is it? The whore in the bedroom, the goddess in the
cooking goddess in the kitchen, and
whatever it is. But it's like
what was she?
Priti Patel in the bedroom, and
was she the chancellor or something? I don't know.
Okay. Right, you weren't looking at the spreadsheets, obviously. Negativity is a state of mind, which you won't often catch here on Munson and the Geeza as well, to be fair. And Liz from Talk the Streets, nice lady, a bit large for my taste, but crypto strategist. This is very blokey now, isn't it? Come on, ladies, speak up. And should I have called you ladies? Am I in a lot of trouble?
Look. The thing is, when you're in Portugal now, crypto. If you don't like it, you know where the airport is. That's what we meant to say, isn't it? You don't like it, you know where the airport is, crypto. We only like big hipped women in Portugal.
Yeah, you go. There you go. Right. I think we've answered all your questions in the chat. Keep them coming if we've missed anything. Lovely to see you, Fleedom, as well. Thanks, Tom, for joining us tonight. And let's do these do's and don'ts, because I'm glad to see some of these. Let's start with the negative and we'll end with the positive. Out, overly posed thumbnails. Yes, thank God. Right, should we just very quickly do an overly posed thumbnail, Tony?
Okay.
Yeah, perfect, mate. Very good. So we know exactly what they're talking about there. Style and aesthetics without substance. Yes, thank God that's going.
So who are we talking about? We're talking about our friend
Dave.
Dave, perhaps.
Well, Dave, he's not without substance. To be fair,
Nah,
to
he's
him.
all right. He's all right.
Okay.
You know, no, I like Dave. I like Dave.
Yeah, and you know, it's different things to different people. There is no ultimately good YouTube video. What does that mean? One that makes.
I also think he creates for an American audience. I think.
Correct. Well said.
Yeah.
Contextual.
So,
yeah.
So that's
so apology videos of Farage brilliantly opened a speech, I think, in the last couple of days, saying you shouldn't start a speech with an apology, but I'm going to apologize now for how damn successful we are, or something like that. Yeah.
Thanks, Trump. I mean, Farage.
Yeah. Apology videos are out apparently, and I don't know who this is to credit them. I'll find out before the end of the show, hopefully. This was sent to me and I screenshotted these in an email from one of those lists I joined. You know, do you want to be a millionaire YouTuber? And a moment of weakness, I signed up. Horizontal videos under 2 minutes long. Well, they should be short.
No. Well, you know, I would up that to 8 minutes.
All right. So anything longer than anything less than 8 should be short.
For me, it's very, very, very rare you will see a video under 8 minutes unless it's a short, and then it'll be under 1.
Well, your whole thing at the beginning takes 5 minutes, doesn't it? But, you know, I wind on past Michael Jackson saying it's that's about 5 minutes, isn't it? Let's check it out. Yeah.
I have thought about changing that, because there are techniques as anyone who's into. Listen, this is another problem why I know but I know how I could change my videos to make more money. And if you watch how the pros do it, and there's lots of YouTube videos that tell you how to do it, and then when you watch their successful, because someone like Mr. Beast, he tells you how to do it. When you watch his videos, they do it. They open up and they crack straight into the content, and they drag you through the video. And then what? Or if you watch Diary of a CEO, the person he'll say to the guy, he'll say to the guest, so what's the secret to a successful marriage? And he'll go, well, I'm going to tell you the secret.
And it cuts.
The first thing you do is
cut. Yeah.
So, but these techniques work.
They don't work for me. You know,
but that's because you're a content creator, Carl. You know,
I know they work on a mass scale. Yeah, definitely. You're right. Okay, so shorts, etc. 60-second long intros. And now, when I saw that, I have changed my intro. My intro was my way of getting comfortable in the morning to play a minute of a little opening title sequence. And it's now 20 seconds. So I've taken that advice. I think that's right. Begging viewers to like, comment, and subscribe. Yes, please stop doing that, everybody. Getting underpaid for brand deals. Well, I'm happy with that.
I disagree with begging viewers to like, comment, and subscribe. I disagree.
All right.
I 100% disagree. I think you should have a call to action, and you should. Okay. And some people say don't put it to the end, but the reality is, look at your analytics, Carl. Most people don't get more than 60 seconds, 1.5 minutes into a video.
Exactly. A medium is
boss your call to action in there. One thing I don't do is, again, this is another way you can make more money, is by putting the best of your video into the first couple of minutes, and I refuse to do that.
Yeah, very good.
I refuse to do that.
It's rather like making love to a beautiful woman, to coin a phrase from Swiss Tony, isn't it? Don't give all your best material in the first 5 minutes, unless that's all you've got, I guess.
But the reality is, most people don't see the end, so you just got to live with it.
Most people can't last longer than 5 minutes, right? Copy and pasting other people's videos. Well, I think segments are great. I really like doing that, but just copying, pirating is not a great idea. But all of that is out. What's in, Tony? Let's see how you're doing so far this year. Natural looking thumbnails. How are you doing? Okay. Let's move on. Cinematography.
I do occasionally, but I get, again, even though I say I try to keep keep it real and everything. Sometimes it's horrible when you go out and you really, like I often give the example of the video that I did about the archaeology, and I went out for like 2 days in the field with those guys, and then I spent a day doing the B-roll, and then I spent another good solid day editing it, you know, and I got like 800
Boring.
views or something. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, come on. and then on TikTok I put up 300 days of rain. They said, and I'm sitting there shouting at the sky because it's raining, and I get like,
that's still got
70,000 views. You know,
we go. That's right. That's
it's
right. And it's a
disgusting.
gift that keeps on giving as well.
Yeah.
With all of this, what's going on at the moment, right? The real, and the mess. You on a live stream, no disrespect, but you're very real. And look at me. I've changed from a fake TV studio and green screening to being actually in my kitchen. That is my actual kitchen. With the sex toy hanging up.
That's funny, because I'm actually in my kitchen. This is my
are you? This is a corner of the kitchen. Very good. Well,
I'm not really.
All right, we're on point, I think, with real, and the mess. Story is good. I do like to get into some stories, and you do as well. I know that. Good sound design. Now, Tony, I want somebody in the way that somebody helped Louise out with a new laptop or tablet to send you a nice pod mic and a Streamer X, so we can get you recording audio correctly at home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Handheld shots, always done that. I like the idea of that. Ultra long. I'm thinking 5 hours, 45 minutes plus.
45 minutes, amateurs. Try 12 hours.
Nostalgia. It's rather like making love to a beautiful woman again. Nostalgia. Well, we'd be naturally good at that. In-person events. Yeah, it could stretch to that. And
I tell you, we've got one. Well, you've got one coming up, but I'm intending to be there. Yeah. So I saw another. I don't know if he's quite a Portuguese YouTuber. He's a Portuguese guy, and he's called. It's terrible that I can't think of his name now, but he's a motorcycle channel really. But he often does like meetups on the bikes and stuff like that, and yeah, I think that works really well. I like the idea.
If you're an enthusiast of what's being looked
at.
Yeah.
Well, I think you've got to have the subs.
Yeah, of course.
To do that. Of course. It's not for like someone who's got a couple of hundred subs, but if you've got a few thousand, you might be able to drum it up.
And that is a very important point, because I was talking to Mrs. M earlier on. I've got a school community with just a couple of hundred people in. Most of them are inactive, and I love community, and I'd love to have a thriving community. But she was talking to somebody who said, I didn't start my community until I had 100,000 people watching, and because she has a 1%, it's like direct mail. You know that the direct mail 1% has transferred itself, hasn't it? Has come across to the internet. And of a group of people, 1% are the ones who are going to respond to you, it would appear. I peaked a bit early on the community side, I think, notwithstanding the fact that I love each and every one of the people who do make an effort at this early stage in our community. Right. Those are the do's and don'ts. My final like is this man on the right there, Vitor Costa. He is my favorite, certainly my favorite Portugal video maker. And he makes some great Portuguese videos as well, with lots of in-jokes that I don't understand yet. And I think he had a meteoric rise by featuring Bob and Viv, who you see on the left of the screen there, who have their own YouTube channel as well. And they're also Good Morning Portugal co-hosts. Love what Vitor does. Fantastic sense of humor. And I think he's got it all in a way. He's got the humor. He does invest in production. He's very good, and he knows what he's talking about with Portugal. So those are my three. Did you say yours?
No, my final entry is a bit left field in a way, because it's a motorcycle oriented channel, and he's called Rocket Man. He's based in the Algarve, and what I like, I'm interested in motorbikes, and I live in Portugal, and he is a British guy, so I can understand him. And he talks about so what he talks about motorcycles from a Portugal perspective, which is what sort of motorcycles are useful or ideal for riding in Portugal. And also, while he's riding around, he's showing he's showing off Portugal. So his name is Rocket Man. He's got 54.7 thousand subscribers, so he's doing pretty well. And the other thing I like about him is his shtick is he never shows his face on camera.
That's clever.
He says that means that he can borrow motorbikes from dealerships without feeling under any obligation to publish a glowing review. And same as he goes to press rides, but they don't know who he is and things like that. So,
that's
so
cool.
he's able to keep that. So he is, you know, according to him, we're getting genuine, unbiased reviews. So, yeah, and he's also pretty good in the comments. So if you get into the comments, I mean, some of his videos get a lot of views and a lot of comments, so maybe you won't get an answer. But any that are under, say, 1,000 comments, if you ask him a question, he's likely to answer.
Great,
which is good.
Yeah,
so
good manners.
Yeah, I like it. I like his channel very much. And if you are interested in motorcycling, it's very much about the motorcycles rather than the rides. So that's something that's somehow a little bit different to someone like, say, the Missenden Flyer, or I don't know if you know these guys, but
I don't know. It sounds like a steam train.
A lot of other motorcycle channels spend a lot of time riding and showing you their rides. Rocket Man is very much focused on reviewing the motorcycles, but
and it's thoughtful.
Yeah.
It sounds thoughtful, and I do like people who put some structure and thought into their videos, which I very rarely do.
Well, it makes it interesting. I was just going to say to you, Carl, I watched a video the other day, and it really blew my mind, because it was I nearly sent it to you, but I thought, I'm not going to do this to you, because it was 40 minutes long. And what it was a guy showing his thing is he makes tables. He makes tables, right?
Yeah,
that's it.
Wooden
tables, yeah. And he was saying, "Oh, this is the most the hook was the most expensive table I've ever made." Yeah. And he got this order for it was for a yacht, so from some rich people, and he said, I'm not even sure I really wanted the job, so I said, right, $45,000, and they said, yeah. And he went, oh shit, that was quick. But anyway, so he went out, got the pieces of wood, measured them up, and then there were things that went wrong, things that went right. And it was like a story as he told it, how things went wrong, what he had to do to solve the problem. And next thing you know, it's 40 minutes have gone by.
I love it.
What the hell?
That is good. Good story.
So I went down into the comments, and lots of people were saying the same thing. How the hell have I just watched a video about a guy making a boardroom table, and I've watched it for 40 minutes. It's just amazing. Lovely. And the guy's just a great storyteller. And then also when I looked at his views, I can't remember, it was something like 15 million views. And I thought, the funny thing is, if his RPM is, now he's an American, so his RPM is probably a lot. For anyone who's watching who doesn't know what RPM is the amount that YouTube pays you per 1,000 views. And in Portugal, the RPM is very, very low compared to the rest of the world. So, for example, the RPM in Norway is something like, the average RPM is something like 15 euros per 1,000. And in Portugal, it's more like about 3. To be honest with you, it can be as low as even 1.5 or 2 euros per 1,000 views.
What, is like a minimum wage in the country or something?
I don't know how they figure it out. I don't know how it works. But I worked out, the guy, he got 45,000 for the table, right? But he would have made much more from the video, because he would have got 45,000 minimum, probably double or even possibly triple that from the video, and with no overheads, because obviously the table, he got 45,000, but it probably cost him 25,000. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
it's like, but it's fascinating to be in that situation, in a sort of more money, more problems kind of situation, where if you make a video like that, you're thinking, well, how do I do another one like that? And can I make another one like that?
Yeah, I don't know. But I've seen a lot of there's another YouTuber I watch called Mary Spender, and she's this is guitar. So these are things I'm interested in, like guitar. And she's a British, she would describe herself as a kind of a musician, songwriter. But she speaks about it, like her videos where she shows herself playing, or she shows herself songwriting process, this kind of thing. She does make money. She's a full-time YouTuber, but her biggest video was when she reviewed a very unusual guitar, a guitar that's made of carbon fiber. And from that one video, she made like £30,000 or something. But she says the same thing. Well, replicating that is just impossible.
Yes. Right. More comments here. Is that all you want to say about bigging up the people you like? By the way, I want to make sure you've got everything.
Yeah. I think so. I just want just to say to people, don't be, again, I think I'm in the same position as Carl. I don't really watch a lot of content. I tell you what, I'm not just saying it because he's here. Crypto has started a channel, and his stuff is really interesting.
Well, he's got a question for you as well. Does the RPM depend on where the producer is based or on where the views themselves come from?
No, unfortunately, it depends on where you're based. And I did make a mistake early on in the thing. I looked at it and I thought, well, this is terrible. And I tried to move my channel to the UK.
Yes.
Basically just cost me 3 months of revenue. They know where you are. Don't just tolerate it. Yeah. You'll get,
Okay, well, thanks for answering that, and well done, crypto strategist. Feel free to plug your channel here. We've got no problem with that.
His channel's really, really interesting, and he doesn't like talk to the camera. It's quite serious.
Fantastic.
And it's quite, there's no sort of fluff or anything. It's very, very much to the point. Yeah, I really like his content as well.
I think we've moved from Spain to Portugal. It might be Wales. Good morning, Wales next. I like the sound of this. I'm Welsh, and we're not built skinny and titless in the valleys. That would be a great channel, would it? Would it not? I think. My traffic is basically all from the USA, and something that Fleedon would like to see disappear whilst we're talking about this. 2 key points to then talk for 2 hours, barely touching upon those points to complain losing your male audience. Well, that would be us, wouldn't it? We do that week after week. We've been very good this week because we did actually cover the topic, and I think fairly well, if I may say so myself. And apparently, I how many videos have you made? I've made 1.8 thousand.
Well, I don't know. I was quite shocked. I checked it the other week because in my head I was thinking, I must have made about 200 videos by now, and I checked it. It was something like 570 or something weird like that.
Well done. Keep creating. That's the important thing. It's good for you, isn't it? It's it exercises the creative prostate or something like that. And apparently, I gave it all away in the first week. I think she might be talking about our relationship there, Mrs. M, or is that my YouTube channel? I'm not sure. Could be either. Could be either on that.
It.
Yes. What is the it?
What is it? What
now
is
wrong
it?
with a chubby chick. Talking of natural women, I'm fat, but it's not fat. It's where my skin stretched to fit my huge personality. Huge personality, says Fleedom, is men lingo for big boobs. Find something else. Why? Why find something else? Thank you.
She's got a huge personality. Yeah, I have heard that before. Yeah.
Right. I have a plug. This will make it to YouTube at some point. And I would like to share where I'm going at past. It's our Portugal club for members of my community and special guests, because Tony's been along and joined us before now and had an interesting evening. We've got my boxing coach. I did a bit of boxing in the UK. On a project that I was working on. Chris was a friend anyway. He's a boxing coach. He runs a brilliant boxing club, the King's Boxing Club in King Stainton in Devon in the UK. And I think he's had enough of the UK, and he's looking at coming to Portugal. We're going to talk to him and answer that question. What's going on? What's wrong with the UK? And see if we can help him move to Portugal and
is he going to open a boxing club in Portugal?
Wouldn't that be amazing if he did?
Yeah, it would be. It would be.
Yeah, and he would. I mean, he really would. He's a fantastic bloke. I've had so much fun working and learning with him. He's a real character, and he's going to be talking to us at 8:30 on the Portugal Club. So I'm really looking forward to that.
This evening.
This evening, yeah.
Okay.
So you're welcome.
Okay, I'll try and pop in.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, I'll get some grub into me, and then I'll come and pop in.
Yeah, so maybe we should do that. We should have a little bit of a comfort break between now and half. I'll send you to the link to that. And as great folks who indulge us here on Munson and the Geeza, if you want to send me a message on WhatsApp, as you can see on the screen there, and you want to join us for that Portugal Club meeting, do just drop me a line. I'll send you the link for that. Most of my subscribers from the USA. My channel grows thanks to Mr. MBB333 after he started sharing some of my pictures. That's what you need, isn't it? Friends who recommend you.
Someone just to push you over the hill. Although I do tell very quickly, I could tell you a story of how it can not work that well. I've got a friend. He's a Portuguese guy, but he lives in the US. And his channel is called Motard Squid. And I think it was last year he had one video went viral and took him from something like 18,000 subs to 120,000 subscribers. It was absolutely amazing.
We've had he joined us from time to time, hasn't he? Old Motard Squid.
Yeah, he's a very, very nice guy, and he's got a good channel as well. But the problem was that the video that went viral wasn't in his niche. So straight afterwards, he's got it's weird. You look at his channel; he's got this massive amount of subscribers, but he gets like 100 or 200 views per video.
Oh, right.
So that can happen as well. That can happen as well.
It's like anything can happen, right? And
anything can happen.
Anything, it really is the case, and it's a lot like being an independent musician, isn't it? You might get the breaks, something might happen, and the most important thing is you've got to enjoy it, haven't you? You've got to want to be creative and enjoy that process, whether anybody. It's like dancing as if no one's watching, right? Creating content like no one's watching, because that's the truth of it sometimes.
One thing that's always been a mystery to me, Carl, when it comes to YouTube, it's a really big mystery. Is why we're always advising people to enjoy music from female rock stars from the 70s and 80s.
Oh, is that right? Why are we always doing that, Tony?
Well, I don't know, but you always hear it on YouTube as they say this, don't they? They always say, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Munson and the Geeza. Munson and the Geeza. Reporting from the scene. Munson and the Geeza. News in every ride.